Good morning. Welcome to the Divine Fellowship, the only church in the world that has a call to worship with the Doobie Brothers. Absolutely. And I don't know, partly it's just to kind of wake you up, and we all had to get up like an hour early today. It was perfect, though, because our cat and dog normally wake up an hour early. They woke up at the right time. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, and by the way, if you ever get kitties and dogs, or little kittens actually, before they're fixed or anything, oh my goodness. Our cat got fixed on Thursday. By Friday, Saturday, it was a different animal. I highly recommend it. They are so wonderful after that. My goodness. Who knew? Who knew? We do have a couple of patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon. And John said, "Why in the world are we here? Surely not to live in pain and fear. Why on earth are we there? When you're everywhere, come get your share." Should be a song. I tell you, it should be a song. And George, the only thing I like this. The only good thing ever to come out of religion was music.
Amen.
Amen to that. I had to get such a kick out of, we had someone the couple of weeks ago, we were talking on camera and said something about the church, and she had to do something. She goes, "Well, I'm not a Christian. I'm from the Divine Fellowship." It's like, what? That was her perception. That was interesting. But we are more followers of the way. We really are not we're not traditional Christian in probably any sense of the imagination. So, people don't ever seem to realize that doing what's right is no guarantee against misfortune. Dang it. It is not impossibilities which fill us with the deepest despair, but possibilities that we fail to realize. It is often the failure who is the pioneer in new lands, new undertakings, and new forms of expression. True. At least I think it's true. I think it's true. Therefore, it's true for me. So, and I knew this, but it's always kind of interesting to read it. There is no record date of Christ's birth. Christmas became an official church holiday in AD 320. Pope Julius I chose December 25th in an effort to absorb the customs of the pagan festival Saturnalia, an extended hedonistic holiday marking the winter solstice, during which the normal Roman social order was turned upside down. I could say something about this. Let it go? Okay. I'll let it go because I was told to let it go. And I know better than to not do what I'm told. So. Okay, it was Christianity's first attempt to try to control people. See? That wasn't that bad, was it? Okay. See, I said it anyway. Okay. The chief recreational pastime in medieval Europe was folk dancing. Usually the whole community showed up for the dances. It wouldn't surprise me that somebody on YouTube would take that little clip about my comment about Christianity and it would go viral.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, here's hoping, yeah. Most folk dances began with all the participants holding hands. You almost forgot the thing about folk dancing. You missed some good information. At a signal, the ring was broken and one person... Should I start this over? Okay, good. The chief recreational pastime in medieval Europe was folk dancing. Usually the whole community showed up for the dances. Most folk dances began with all the participants holding hand in a circle. At the signal, the ring was broken and one person or couple would lead the rest of the group in dance. It was very much an honor to be the ringleader. Since this person was mastermind of the dance, the title came to be applied to any person directing a group. Only in recent years has ringleader come to mean the leader of an unlawful activity. Yeah, now you know. Oops, my little marker got moved. Okay, that's okay, I know about where I am. Oh yeah, the sooner you fall behind, the more time you'll have to catch up. Jan, you need this one. The colder the X-ray table, the more of your body is required to be on it. Everyone has a photographic memory. Some just don't have film. No, Jan, you missed the one. I did this one for you. The sooner you fall behind, the more time you'll have to catch up. I like it. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you. If your car could travel at the speed of light, would your headlights work? I don't know. I don't know. Now you'll be thinking about this during the entire service, trying to go, I wonder how that works. So, stupidity is not a handicap, they'll park elsewhere. He who dies with the most toys is, nonetheless, dead. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but it uses up 3,000 times the memory. Probably true. Probably true. The eyes pick up much more than you would imagine. Today I was in a store that sells sunglasses, and only sunglasses. A young lady walks over to me and asks, "What brings you in today?" I looked at her and said, "I'm interested in buying a refrigerator." She didn't quite know how to respond. I guess she's getting to that age, so, although I would never do anything like that. Unless I can get away with it. A lesson to be learned from typing the wrong email address. I did this one 4.5 years ago. So if you recognize it, either you've heard it since then, or you were here 4.5 years ago. A Minneapolis couple decided to go to Florida to thaw out during a particularly icy winter, which would certainly be this year. They planned to stay at the same hotel where they had spent their honeymoon 20 years earlier. Because of the hectic schedule, it was difficult to coordinate their schedules. So the husband left Minnesota and flew to Florida on Thursday, with his wife flying down the following day. The husband checked into the hotel. There was a computer in his room, so he decided to send an email to his wife. However, he accidentally left one letter in the email address, and without realizing his error, sent the email. Meanwhile, somewhere in Houston, a widow had just returned home from her husband's funeral. He was a minister who was called home to glory following a heart attack. The widow decided to check her email, expecting messages from relatives and friends. After reading the first message, she screamed and fainted. The widow's son rushed into the room, found his mother on the floor, and saw the computer screen, which read, "To my loving wife. Subject, I've arrived. Date, April 27th, 2009. I know you're surprised to hear from me. They have computers here now, and you are allowed to send emails to your loved ones. I've just arrived but haven't checked in yet. I've seen that everything has been prepared for your arrival tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing you then. Hope your journey is as uneventful as mine was. P.S. Sure is hot down here." Oops. Okay. Got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I might need some assistance up here if somebody can help me out here. I've got a few things that I need to show that we've been getting as donations for the silent auction and possibly for... Oh, there she is. Woo! One of the items that we have brought in was from Callie. This is a painting that she did. We haven't decided quite yet. Depends on what we have coming in as to whether we're going to put it in the silent auction or put it in as a raffle item. Another thing that, and this is just, I'm giving you, it's perfect for us to have these items because it can show you what we're looking for. And when I say, the phrase that it's all about, we want to see bring in items that kind of are what we're about. It's not always what you might think. Now, these are boots and waders, if you men know what those are, that my husband is donating, that are brand new, never used. I think the tag is still on them, the box. So these are some guy things. And Phil was saying that they are perfect not only for like going out and doing fly fishing and things like that and walking around in streams, but also if you have a big, huge pond that needs to be cleaned. These are perfect for getting in there and doing that. So... Exactly. And then the other thing we have, I have a couple of gem books that are going to be going together with some other items like some crystals, things like that. I'll put together as a package type deal. So things like that. And then we also have this beautiful, beautiful quilt. And I don't know if we can fold it all the way out or not, but give you an idea of. And this is, yes, it is so nice. And this is something that Chris Powell has made, and this will be a raffle item. We had a quilt from her last year that was a huge success. People fought over it. And so no blood was shed, but the person who won it was extremely happy. She also has created this traveling bag, and this bag is absolutely amazing. You know, if you get a chance to look through it, it has pockets for everything, and it's a one thing traveling bag. It even has this little strap that you can put over your handle of your luggage as you're going through the airport, so it kind of hooks on, and a little what is this, a thread catcher, she calls it, which is really cool because you open it up here and it has this beautiful flower that's a pin cushion, and there'll be some little scissors in here, so it's like when you're trimming off your thread as you're sewing, you put it in this little bucket and then dispose of it later, or whatever you do with it. So these are just some things that I wanted to show you. You could put together a basket if you wanted. You could put together a theme basket if you wanted. It could be, say, a movie theme basket, or a food kind of a basket, whole food, healthy food basket. So these are just some ideas, and we're needing lots and lots of donations in order for us to make the money plus that we made last year. We made over $2,000 on these things last year. We'd like to exceed that this year. So it's your generosity and it's the items that you bring in is what helps us meet that goal. So bring them to me, see me, bring them in, put them in the back. Just let me know. Thank you.
And also the artist for this picture just came in, Callie. Raise your hand. Thank you. Oh, I was going to do about the shoes. Okay.
Just a second. Chris,
Okay.
you better
So you want to do that first?
And real quick, Phil has another announcement. Really quick, I have clipboards I'm going to send around. These are our volunteers. If you're on here, check your name so that I know you've seen it. That will help me out because there's a few people that need to be notified. So if you have volunteered and you're not on the list, put your name and phone number down again. That would be helpful. But there's 4 sheets, so go through each sheet and just make sure that you check yourself off. Okay, and that way I know that you know. You'll get a reminder day of your service, but I probably will just text you or phone you real quick within about 15 minutes of your tour of duty. So if you know your day and time ahead of time, you can be there in plenty of time, and that way if you're shopping or whatever, you get a reminder. But anyway, I'll let you go.
Got this one. There's also going to be, okay, all of a sudden I can see her face and I forgot her name. Shirley Scott. Don't you just hate that? Shirley Scott in Walla Walla has the dog rescue, or animal rescue rather. She's doing a fundraiser, and it sounds like a great idea. She is accepting gently used shoes, okay, sandals, slippers, doesn't matter what they are, flip-flops, it doesn't matter what they are, bring them to the expo. If she can get...
Bring them here and we'll
or bring them here, but she's going to bring it to the expo either way. They are sent to foreign countries, and she gets money for them for her rescue. She needs at least 1,000 pair. So it's a lot of shoes. But the point is, she might be able to actually fund her rescue for the entire year from this little fundraiser. So this is kind of fun.
I've already started it out. There's 2 bags of shoes back there I brought in this morning.
Cool. All right. So I think that was I like that idea. It's just a great idea. Hey, let's sing a song. And I had it 60 seconds ago. There we go again. I don't know what it is. But hey, guess what? Actually, I know it's a song that we haven't sung in a long time, or maybe never. Who knows? So.
Can you hear me now? Special hello to Misa and Tony in Florida, who watch us every week. Yay! Okay, I have a dilemma. I have two messages that are rolling around in my head and they're warring to emerge. So I'm not really sure which one wants to show up. So while they're working themselves out, I want to share with you Thursday night. We had our mediumship panel. It was so fun. What was really funny is we had no visitors. It was just readers, all of us readers. So we read each other. It was like way cool. And Gene Geiger, that has recently passed away, he showed up. It was awesome. It was awesome. More than one of us saw him. It was fantastic. He was healthy and happy, and he wanted to just acknowledge that he was in a good place. Everything was doing really well for him, and that how much he appreciated the Divine Fellowship. So I wanted to pass that on to you. We chatted with pets, and we chatted with relatives, ancestors that we didn't even know that were before us. So anyway, it was great fun. There's going to be a mediumship demonstration Sunday at the Expo. I strongly encourage you to attend. People that are participating in this are just phenomenal. So, the Expo. Oh, yeah, you're a new person. You don't know this stuff. We are having our 15th annual Northwest Healing Spirit Expo, April 11th and 12th at the Red Lion in Kennewick. So there's flyers in the back. If you want more information, we'll chat with you later about that. So that's way cool. Okay, there's still... Okay, so let me just start on one. We'll see what happens. How's that? So we had been we've been talking, some of us have been talking, about manifesting. And I hadn't had a chance to really finish up on all of that. So we're going to dash back into manifesting just a little bit. Have you ever thought of starting your own business? How many people have? Okay. Start your own business. Okay. And then once you get started, maintaining your own business. Now, what are some things that usually come up in our mind when we think about starting our own business? Money. What else? Business. Well, I guess what I'm asking for is, yes, you have to have a business plan. What are the motivations? Why do you want to? Service. Hold on. Independence, joy, freedom. What was the other one? Fulfillment. Dharma. What else? What else did I? Flexibility. The old, oh, what have I done? Let's talk a little bit about this, because the thing with manifesting is part of it is effort, and part of it is mental attitude. And mental attitude changes effort, and effort affects mental attitude. Money. Service. Interdependent. Independence. I think I was thinking interdependence. Because half the stuff on this list, well, maybe not half, some of the stuff on this list is a lie. You don't have freedom. You get to do what you love. Somebody said that. That's one I forgot. Do what you love. Do what you love. But I will guarantee you, you will work harder than you ever did at any job. It's a different type of effort. It's a different type of effort. When we are looking at starting our own business, the mindset or the mental set is no different, really, than when you work for someone if you're working from the same place of power. Sometimes we feel like, well, we have to get away from that job because that job is making me unhappy. It's not the job that's making you unhappy. Boredom may be making you unhappy. Not being challenged may be making you unhappy. But happiness isn't out here affecting you. There's nothing outside of yourself that can make you happy or not happy. Happiness is here. Fulfillment can come from either doing a task that you love or doing a task you don't love, doing it with love. Either way, the fulfillment can be there, even if it's a task you don't like. If it's done with the attitude of that loving expression and service, the fulfillment will follow. Now, it sounds to me like I'm trying to talk you out of your own business. I'm not. Because I have my own business. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Every day is a holiday. And to do what you love to do is just the coolest thing ever, 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 ever. But I want those that are thinking about starting your own business, do it from the right frame of mind. If you're doing it to escape something, success may not follow. If you're doing it because you can keep your own hours, that's wonderful. Because, physically I have some health challenges. And physically, I think if I'd had a 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job, I don't think I would be alive here today. I think I would have just croaked a long time ago. So there is some flexibility about that. But I work longer hours than I ever did working in a regular job. And it's harder emotionally because I'm invested in it. And it's harder emotionally because I care about my customers more. Because it's coming from, this is about my sense of being and my sense of personal expression. And it's about being real. Now the good news is, when you work your own business, you get to choose who you work with, for the most part. Do you not? Because I guarantee you there's a lot of workplaces that are toxic. So really, there's two things we need to talk about here. We need to talk about toxicity and how to overcome toxicity. Okay, this is nothing what I had planned, so I have no idea where we're going to go with this. But I love it. Don't you love it? It's just going to happen. So we need to talk about toxicity and overcoming toxicity. And we need to talk about fulfilling what we came here to do. Most of us want to own our own business because we want to fulfill our destiny. Here's the cool thing with destiny. And your angels and your guides and all of that other sort of thing. You have choice. You have a destiny, but you're not predestined. Well, you are predestined, but you're not predestined without choice. You have choice. I may have been destined to be a teacher, but I thank God I'm not in front of a classroom of young people. Thank God for teachers in the room. Hallelujah, Daryl. Oh my gosh, and other teachers in the room. God bless you. If I were a teacher of small children, children would die, I'd go to jail, it wouldn't be pretty. No, not happening. Couldn't do it. Couldn't be a nurse. Oh, no. But yet I love healing. I love that healing thing. Blood, oh my gosh. Ugh. Any bodily fluids are, no thank you. So, I think we have a destiny that we came to fulfill. But how we fulfill that is our choice. Because our choice is the first gift God gave humanity. First gift. And that's how the two things come together. Okay, now it's nice to see. Because here's the deal.
I think you've been lied to about the Garden of Eden. And I want to clear this up. Can I clear that up for you? I hope so. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a soapbox here, and I'm going to get on it. I'm fired up about this, so I apologize in advance if I offend anyone. Apologize. But I'm not sorry. Here's the deal. People think God put the tree of knowledge of good and evil in the garden to test humanity as a trick, to prove what a horrible lot we are and to doom us to being sinful, horrible beings the rest of our life. Hooey. The knowledge of the tree of good and evil is like a litmus test. Now, if you know about chemistry, litmus test is you can put a piece of litmus paper in your tongue and it'll turn color depending on whether you're acidic or not acidic. It's a test. It's a determining factor. Just remember the commercial on TV where they have the cheese and the cheese is cracking stupid jokes. Oh, you're not ready. Well, I think that's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That was to let us know we're ready for the next level of spiritual expansion. And then you have this whole concept that humanity that God hated us because we chose this horrible thing and we were bad. No. God knew we were ready for the next step. Because guess what? We were created in the image of God. And what's the image of God? It's not blonde hair, blue eyes. There are people who believe that. Anybody who doesn't have blonde hair, blue eyes is not a God. Do you know that? People believe that. It's hooey. It's hooey. What we were in the image of God is that creative ability. It is the creative ability that makes us long to have our own business and self-expression. Would a God of love kept his people in a tiny little garden and say, you can't make anything. You can never paint. How many people paint besides Callie? Can you imagine never being able to paint? Exactly. What about growing something in your garden and what about that first tomato? Isn't that just awesome? Oh my gosh, I grew that. Well, yeah, you did kind of help it along. But how wonderful to have that success, that creativity, that expression. So the tree of knowledge of good and evil was a way for God to say, oh, they're self-aware now. And to keep us locked down and restrained and not be able to create our own world would have been cruel. But the God of love, had to kind of move us along. Because don't we like it easy? We like it easy. You just give it to me. I'll just sit back, watch TV, and you just give it to me. No. But the most fun we have is when we're creating something, when we're expressing ourselves with this wonderful creative ability that we have. I was talking with Dan. This Dan, not that Dan. Well, I was talking to you earlier, but this Dan. And we were talking about, what is it about humans? We can take something some other human has done and build on it. I can't reinvent a car. Phil can't reinvent a car, but he can make something different out of what's already there. He's taken a Volkswagen Bug and he's turning it into an electric car. How fun is that? Because he has that creative mind. He can do that. You have creative ability, and you have the ability to create. And it's that God-given drive to do something different and to make a difference in the world that motivates having our own business. You can have that same creative ability whether you work for someone or you don't. This gives you some more freedoms, but it also gives you some different restrictions. Having your own time schedule, well, that's fine. But if it doesn't make you money, you can't do it anymore. Oh, I think I'll sleep in till noon. Doesn't make you money, you don't get to do that anymore unless you work till noon, till midnight. You maybe get to choose your hours. But if it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't bring you the revenue you need, you don't get to do it anymore. Because guess what? You may be your own boss, without being an evil taskmaster, but there's still effort. It's effort from your heart, whether you work for somebody or you work for yourself. It's still effort from your heart. And the happiness is coming from that creative expression. And how wonderful if you can find that in a work environment. And how wonderful you can find that if you work for yourself. It's your choice. It's your choice. You get to choose. But whatever you choose, stop whining. Because we do. Oh, I hate my job. Well, I get that. Jobs can be boring and miserable. At the same time, if we're looking for our job to make us happy, we're looking under the wrong rock. Because you know what you're going to find under rocks? Creepy crawly things. Your destiny isn't determined upon whether you have your own job or you work for somebody else. Your destiny is how you live. How you live today. How you express yourself today. How you create today. And what you're creating in your world from here on out. Create. If you're creating, you will find happiness. You will. You'll either find happiness in what you're doing or you'll find a way out. Make sense? Because here's what. Have another soapbox. Stand up on that soapbox. Had class the other day on pendulums. And you know, I resisted teaching that class for a long time. Because I've heard people say, well, my pendulum told me I should do this or I should do that. If your pendulum or your tarot cards or any other tool of divination is telling you what to do, you just canceled all of the divine right that has been gifted to you. It's like saying your shovel told you what to do. It's a tool. It's a tool to help you understand what's going on in your world. Make sense? So, I was having a chat with myself about this pendulum class. I said, you know, I don't ever want to teach that again. And I said, God, I'm just not going to teach that again. So you know how it is when you tell God what you're going to do? Now I was reluctant to share this with you because, you know, I like you to think that I'm just really good all the time and just do the right thing all the time. But no, me and God had words, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. And the response I got back was, okay, all right, I hear you, I hear you. Then a little later I got, you know, it might be fun if you created a pendulum chart about what blocks might be in somebody's life. Oh, what would that look like? Oh, might be fun to do a pendulum chart about how to overcome some of those blocks. Oh, what would that look like? Long list. Ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new pendulum charts, not counting the other 4 I have already. So what's up? What's up in your life? And not because we can't think it through, but sometimes we just get backed up. Am I the only one that gets backed up? I get backed up. So sometimes we need a little insight. And from that insight, then we can have choice. When we're locked down or we're stuck, the power of choice escapes us. It's our divine right to have choice and creatively move through whatever's blocking us up. What about blocks to healing? That would be a good one, huh? Then healing options. Then spiritual imbalance. And then spiritual balance, what can bring us back into balance. So I've been working I've been working. And it's been fun because it's creative. I've been creating. And it's kind of like growing a tomato. I didn't grow that tomato. But I'm part of the process, and it's really, really fun. And when we're a part of the creative process, whether it's working for ourselves, working for somebody else, we are accessing the two best things ever in our world, and that is the power of choice, because we have the power of creation. And when we have that, then the world is at our feet. Then the world is at our feet. Whatever you choose, whether you choose to work for somebody, or you choose to retire, or you choose to have your own business, it's just a moot point. Because then you have all of it. Can you imagine how fun life is when you got it all, even with the oh shit? Because the oh shit is, oh my gosh, nobody else is responsible for this but me. And nobody else has the biggest giggles out of it than me. Well, unless of course you do. So whatever your choices are, remember that you have choice. That's your divine gift. And when we feel like we don't have choice, it's because we're blocked up. And maybe we're blocked up because we are worried, or we have fear, or we're confused. Because our heart has a wisdom, our heart, our sense of belonging, our sense of service, that has a wisdom. Then our brain has a wisdom, which is A plus B equals C. This is more important than that. That discernment. Our soul has a wisdom. Even our energy field has a wisdom. And sometimes we're getting the information overload, and we don't know how to process it all. My head wants to do one thing, my heart wants to do another. So when we have that spiritual input and we can move past a block, then we have clarity. When we have clarity, then we're empowered to create. And that's what it's really all about, is it not? So there's more I would say on that. I think that's another day. When we are living in a place of fulfillment, of living our destiny, our job is 8 to 5. Our destiny is 24/7. If you can combine them, that's cool. If not, move on from there. Let's talk 1 more minute about toxicity. You ever worked in a toxic environment? Oh, yeah. And it's just drama from one day to the next. So how do you keep yourself clear from that? How do you keep yourself clear from that? By following the rest of this. That's maybe the ocean. When we work of service, an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Do an honest day's work, even if the conditions aren't lovely. Be of service. Independence and interdependence. They may pay your paycheck, so you're dependent upon that, but you have independence of how you feel, how you respond, how do you interact with your fellow workers. I think the hardest thing for us to do is have safe boundaries sometimes in a toxic workplace. And knowing that in order to fulfill your divine nature, it is important to know who you are and what's okay with you. If it's not okay with you and you do it anyway, or you listen to some gossiping and it hurts your soul, and you engage in that because you want to be accepted, that sucks the life out of you. You're going to be more tired than if you just worked a day. Amen to that? Amen to that. So we're interdependent, but you can independently say, somebody starts gossiping, you can just say, excuse me. And you can go to the restroom, have a good cry. Been there, done that a time or two. Joy. I used to, okay, so I'm a little whacked. Maybe this won't work for you. But I would draw a happy face on a piece of paper, slip it into the copy machine. So somebody coming to make a copy, they'd get a happy face on the top. You don't have to be unhappy if everybody else is. People are like, oh, Janice, there you go again. Freedom. You can have the freedom to be yourself, even if everybody else is mucked up in all kinds of drama. You don't have to get involved in that. Flexibility. I can choose to be cranky or I can choose not. I can be flexible. If you have a boss that's ordering you around and you just don't have any freedom, maybe it's time to look for a new job. Here's your sign. Just don't tell God, I'm not gonna. Do not do as I do. Do as I say. Learn from my mistakes. Because guess what? If you don't, it's gonna get worse. And maybe it is your sign to start your own business. That's when a business plan comes out. Can I do it? Should I do it? Is it right for me to do that? What would that look like? And you don't have to have all the answers. The power of choice is yours. You can always make a new choice. Ooh, that's not working. I think I'll go find another job. Either way, if you're in a toxic environment, protect yourself. Find some safe boundaries. And here's the most important thing I could teach you is learn to say no. The N-O word, hardest word in the human language to say, especially to an employer. But you can say, I'm uncomfortable with that. It doesn't seem to fit my job description. I worked for attorneys for a while. They're an odd lot. And when you have 2 or 3 attorneys and they all have court stuff that's really important, it's got to be done, it's time sensitive. So one would come, this has to be done right now. Okay. And then you get like 4 things and they all have to be done right now. So and then if the one thing didn't get done, I'd get yelled at. And it was like, oh my gosh. It was a pretty toxic environment. So I had to learn. Nobody taught me. Nobody is out there with coaching for how to work in a job environment that's toxic. So I had to come up with some way to survive. So an attorney would come and he's handing me this is an emergency, has to be done right now. I'd say, all right, would you go ask Mr. So-and-so if your job could have priority? Because he gave me an urgent too, and I'm working on that right now. So if he gives me permission to come off this, I'll take that. And it was wonderful. They stopped yelling at me. They kind of have words with each other, but they're attorneys, they love to argue. Let them argue. They had fun. So you have this expression, freedom of expression. Do what you love. Do what you love. And love what you do. If you can't be doing what you love what you do. Do it with your whole heart. Whole heart. Yes. Yes, you can.
But was that true with what you told these attorneys? Was that true?
Absolutely.
It was true
Absolutely true.
that you were working on a project that had...
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. If I had somebody give me a priority project and somebody else wanted their project priority, then you two work it out. Absolutely. Absolutely true. Mm-hmm. You have more power than you think you do. Especially the power of joy, enthusiasm. Man, all right. So let's do a guided meditation, shall we?